Hello, wonderful to see you again. It's Judy from Coffee, Cookies, and Books. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about Book of the Month and Aardvark and what they have available for the month of August. So, with that in mind, I hope to see you on the other side. Thanks so much for sticking around. Hope you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. We don't have huge selection for Aardvark and Book of the Month, but I thought we'd talk about what they have to offer for the month of August. Now, before we do get into that, I would really love it if you could like, subscribe, and leave me a comment because I love it when you comment and I can answer back. I'm really getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I had a huge influx last week with the videos I had, and that was fantastic. So I'm hoping that we're going to strike gold and we're going to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so what we're going to do is just going to go through what Book of the Month is offering and what Aardvark is offering, as I mentioned in the opening. So Book of the Month has 5 offerings this month. I am going to say that I did not pick up any of them. There is one offering that I'm on the fence with and I am going to wait on, and I'll explain that when we get to it. So the first offering that is available is considered literary fiction, and it is Seduction Theory by Emily Adrian. And it says it is a love triangle, marriage issues, salacious, and academic. So those are the prompts that they've put there for them. Now, a quick take says it's a struggling with your MFA thesis. Just fictionalize your advisor's real life marriage issues and enjoy the fallout. Why Book of the Month chose it. The voice is clever, irreverent, and witty with a precision that is by turns satirical and deeply moving. We were impressed by the inventive structure, a fictional thesis that doubles as a salacious tell-all and send up of academia. It's bold, ambitious novel that doesn't shy away from provocation with sharp insights on infidelity, power dynamics in marriage, and what makes for a meaningful life. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, it's not something that I would particularly lean towards, but I think some people might be very interested in that one. Then the next one is a young adult called All the Tomorrows After, and it's by Joanne Yee. It is a teenage girl strikes an unusual bargain with her estranged father in this poignant and heartbreaking novel. It's emotional, sad, family drama coming of age. Why they chose it, it says this is beautifully complex character study of a teenage girl who is guarded and hurting, and we were moved by her journey toward growth and connection. A nuanced coming of age story that explores anger, grief, and hope in ways that can resonate with readers of all ages. With lyrical writing and compelling storytelling, the book flies by. We tore through its pages. The book flies by. I can't read today. We tore through its pages, eager to learn where Winter's path would take her. So Winter must be the main character. And so that sounds a bit like young adult literary fiction, if I had to guess. The next one is a true crime, The Man No One Believed by Joshua Sharpe. I think I have a Joshua Sharpe book somewhere in my inventory. It says the true story of a grisly murder, the man falsely accused of the crime, and the journalist fighting to set him free. It's based in the 80s. It's an underdog with social issues and very unsettling. Why they chose it. With the pacing of a thriller and vivid, immersed writing, this book transported us right into the heart of the story, and we couldn't put it down. This is an eye-opening, unflinching look at how local politics, race, and corruption all played a role in imprisoning the wrong man in 1980s Georgia. It's a rare blend of crime narrative, investigative journalism, history, and personal storytelling. We were riveted following this author on his quest to discover the truth. So, I do like true crime. This doesn't appeal to me, but I do think it sounds interesting as a true crime book. Now, this is the one that I've kind of put sort of off to the wayside. I have thought about it, but at this point, I'm not really 100% sure. Yeah, not 100% sure. The previous one, The Man No One Believed, that was apparently a debut, although I've heard the name Joshua Sharpe before, so maybe this is debut true crime. I'm not really sure on that one. Let's see. Also, all the Tomorrows After, the YA one, that's also a debut novel. Just thought it's really great. Okay, so the next one is Forget Me Not by Stacy Willingham. Now, the reason I put this off, there's two reasons. One, I have one or two of her books already and have not read them, and I want to. And number two, on thrillers, I typically like to wait for reviews. There are quite a few YouTubers that I follow that are thriller and horror specific. They read a lot of that. So I like to see if they've read it, what they think of it, and then also how the ratings in Goodreads are coming up. So I will wait on that one a little bit before I decide. But it is a three-peat author, which means this is the third time they're featuring, and this is an early release. I believe that I featured this book in my releases for August, my video that I did. I'm 100% sure that this book was in it. It is a quick take. Her sister vanished years earlier. Now a hidden diary may have answers, but does she really want to uncover the truth? It's due on August 26th, so that is the release date if you don't pick it up from Book of the Month and you just go regular. It is psychological, slow build, creepy, and rural. Why they chose it. Stacy Willingham is an expert at crafting an atmospheric setting, and this one delivers. We were instantly transported to the eerie southern vineyard. The mystery at the heart of the story is layered and satisfying to unspool. We were compelled by the novel's tenacious protagonist as she reckons with the tragic disappearance that haunts her family. So it's got the whole family drama thing and everything like that built into it. So I thought that one sounded really interesting, but I am going to wait on it. The last one is, it's a limited edition. It has sprayed edges available for an additional charge of $3.99, and it is a debut. It's called Immortal Consequences by I.V. Marie. Fantasy. Did I say that? I don't know if I said it, if it was fantasy, but it's fantasy. It's 400 plus pages, LGBTQ plus themes, multiple viewpoints, and magical. So it must have a magical system. It says there's no eternal rest at Blackwood Academy, and to escape, 6 students must face trials that are deadlier than ever. A boarding school in the afterlife with this is why they chose it, sorry. A boarding school in the afterlife with high stakes trials. We were sold. It's fun, inventive, take on the dark academia genre. The ensemble cast leaps off the page between the banter, the angst, and the backstories. Each character feels fully alive and fun to follow. The romantic chemistry, a blend of rivals to lovers, slow burn, longing, and emotional payoff that's satisfying to read. So while it's fantasy, it's got romance in it, obviously. So those are the 5 books that are going to be available for August's book of the month, and I think they're great selections, just none of them really jumped off the page for me. And as I said, only the one thriller was one that I had sort of my eye on, but I will wait on that one. Okay, so that's it for that batch of books. All right, so now we're going to move on to Aardvark. And for Aardvark, I did actually not skip Aardvark. So for Book of the Month, previously, this was the second month that I have skipped. So haven't really been feeling their selections over the last couple of months, but Aardvark I typically have not skipped yet, although I haven't had my membership for quite as long. I think this might be the 4th month, and with Book of the Month I've had it for almost a year. So yeah, Aardvark has just had a much more interesting selection of books, and this month is no different. And a couple of the books that I've picked, one of them is from this month's selection, one of them is actually from last month's selection. I had them on my releases video. One of them I did not, and I was kind of surprised by this one. It's an early release, and I loved the sound of it. So yeah, Aardvark just interested me so much more with their selection. But let's go over them. We're going to start with one of the ones that I have picked, and it is Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. I loved this one right away. It is an early release. I know it's coming out in August. Can't remember what the date is, and they don't have the release date. They don't put it on. They just say that it is an early release. And it is a thriller, and it is 400 pages. So it's a good solid read. And it is a retired serial killer's quiet life is upended by an unexpected visitor to protect her secret. There's only one option left. What's another murder? From the best-selling author Samantha Downing. Lottie Jones thought her crimes were behind her. Decades earlier, she changed her identity and tucked herself away in a small town. Her most exciting nights are the weekly bingo games at the local church and gossiping with her friends. When an investigative journalist, Plum Dixon, shows up on her doorstep asking questions about Lottie's past and specifically her involvement with numerous unsolved cases, well, Lottie just can't have that. But getting away with murder is hard enough when you're young, and when Lottie receives another annoying knock at the door, she realizes this crime might just be the death of her. So this is a woman who is a senior citizen. The woman on the cover has gray hair. Hello, gray hair. So I loved the sound of this. I have added this to my box. So, and the next one, I did also feature this one on my August releases video, and this is also an early release from Aardvark. It is What Hunger by Catherine Dang, and it is a horror, 288 pages. The synopsis: a haunting coming-of-age tale following the daughter of Vietnamese immigrants, Ronnie, as she grapples with the weight of generational trauma while navigating the violent power of teenage girlhood, for fans of Jennifer Body and Little Fires Everywhere. So it's a horror, but I mean, if I'm going to be honest, the description alludes to cannibalism. So yeah, it says on page, so the content warnings say on page sexual assault of a minor and cannibalism. So that kind of creeped me out, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. It really creeped me out. So, and the synopsis didn't grab me. I mean, I think it's talking about what her Vietnamese parents did for them to survive and what they learned from them, her and her brother. Ugh, yeah, a little creepy. Didn't pick up that one. So the next one is another early release. I did not feature this one. I have added this one to my cart because I loved the sound of it. It is a debut science fiction, mystery, historical fiction, 384 pages. I thought this book sounded fascinating. The Once and Future Me by Melissa Pace. I think I forgot to mention that, but the book cover is always up for you to view. Dark Matter meets Girl Interrupted in this gripping psychological thriller about a young woman teetering on the edge of reality. Virginia, 1954. Now, I always think it says historical fiction, but to me, that's not really that historical because I was born in 1961. So that's just the 50s to me. Anyway, Virginia, 1954, when a woman wakes on a patient transport bus arriving at Hanover State Psychiatric Hospital. She remembers nothing of her life before that moment, none of the dark things she must have seen and done that forged her into the skillful and cunning fighter she is. Doctors tell her she's Dorothy Fraser, a paranoid schizophrenic committed to her violent delusions. She's certain they're wrong, until disturbing visions of a dystopian future in which frantic scientists urge her to complete the mission and save mankind begin to invade her reality. Believing it's Hanover causing the hallucinations, she tells no one and focuses only on escaping until there's a visitor, a man whose loving face and touch she remembers, a man who knows all about her visions because he spent years helping her cope with them. Her husband, Paul Fraser. So it certainly sounds exciting. Yeah, lots of thrilling aspects to it. And of course, you wonder how this guy, as her husband, fits into the whole story, right? And the content warnings say forced institutionalization, attempted sexual assault. So that is content warning on that one. I've added that to my box, 100%. So another one that I featured on my August releases is The Hound Dog by Xenobe Purvis. This is another debut novel, historical fiction, literary fiction, includes a dog. It's 240 pages, so sounds like a fairly short book. And the synopsis says, the Crucible meets the virgin suicides in this haunting debut about 5 sisters in a small village in 18th century England whose neighbors are convinced they're turning into dogs. I thought that sounded interesting. I won't read the whole synopsis. It's actually quite long, but it does say content warnings are alcoholism and brief badger baiting scene. Brief badger baiting. So I have no idea what that means, but that's that one. Then another one I featured in my August releases, which is also being in their collection this month, is a romance. Well, actually, by Mazey Eddings. So it says romance, it says LGBTQIA plus representation, 384 pages. There are no, spice rating is a 4. So it's pretty freaking spicy, but there are no content warnings. It says, an utterly delightful and sexy second chance romance between a black cat and a golden retriever with Mazey Eddings' signature sparkling voice. Eva Kitt never expected to be the host of Sausage Talk, interviewing B-list celebrities over wieners. Instead of pursuing the journalism career she dreamed of, when Eva publicly calls out her college ex for ghosting her, her video goes viral. It doesn't help. Said ex is Riley Cooper, a beloved social media personality that has built a platform on deconstructing toxic masculinity and teaching men how to be decent partners. Now she's forced to confront Riley on a live episode of Sausage Talk where Riley makes her a deal. Allow him to take her on a series of dates to make up for his toxic behavior, then debrief them all on his channel. Eva refuses to play nice, but agrees to the deal to further her own career and continue defaming Riley's good name. But when these manufactured dates start to feel real, Eva has to wonder if the boy that broke her heart has become the man that might heal it. So, sounds like an interesting rom-com to me. That's what it sounds like. So, I'm not sure where the LGBTQIA, maybe in their friends group, is what I'm assuming, maybe. And the last one is one that I thought sounded interesting, although I am not going to pick it up until I see more reviews on it because it doesn't have that many, because I did check. It is Moderation by Elaine Castillo. It is literary fiction, romance, science fiction, and includes a dog. It's 320 pages. The content warning says mentions of CSA. Synopsis: a bold and inventive novel about real romance in the virtual workplace, bringing Castillo's trademark wit and sharp cultural criticism to an irresistible story about the possible future of love. So this whole thing revolves around this girl who is a content moderator, and she gets involved in the VR world. So I'm just going to leave it at that because it's a super long synopsis, but I did think that that sounded really super interesting. Okay. Now, the other book that I have decided to pick up, and I decided to wait on this one because I wanted to see reviews. So this is the third book that I've added, and it was one of the ones that was featured last month, and that is Salt Bones by Jennifer Givhan. I think it's Given. I think that's how it's pronounced. And it is a horror, which is why I was interested in it, because I always love it's very hard to get just straight horror, thriller horror. You can get a lot of that. So I thought this sounded really great. The synopsis is 3 women in one twisted family race for answers in this stunning mystery set in the Mexicali borderlands that breathes new life into the myth of Persephone and Demeter. At the edge of the Salton Sea in the blistering borderlands, something is out hunting. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Oh my God. This sounded really Now, I did have a full box in the last box. So that was another reason why I kind of left this one off, because I didn't know very much about it. And I thought, well, I'll wait and see. Because, some people are like, well, don't wait, because these books can obviously get sold out. And yes, that is the case, but I was lucky enough to be able to get it and add it to my box this time around. So that is it for both Book of the Month and Aardvark for the month of August. I am going to be doing one of these videos every month, and I do also do a releases video every month. I usually do that sometime around the middle of the month, and I can tell you that September's releases video is going to be quite large. So I do have that kind of already planned out a little bit, and you will be seeing that in probably 2 weeks, I would think, in around there. And I like to kind of think how many of these books are going to appear, and none of them except for Stacy Willingham on Book of the Month, and on Aardvark, it was almost all of them. So yeah, kind of interesting. I think Aardvark just has a much more broad and unusual selection of books. Book of the Month tends to be a little bit more mainstay, and that's although Book of the Month has worked really well for me. But I can say this is the 3rd month in total that I have skipped with them. One was near the beginning, and then this is like the last 2 months in a row. So we shall see. But you don't nothing happens if you skip Book of the Month. It's not like there's any penalties for it. Same with Aardvark. You can skip them at any time. So I would encourage people to sign up. I do have links to them below, and you get a deal when you first sign up. At least I know you do for Book of the Month. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hopefully it's short and sweet. I try. I'm not great because I like to talk. That's it for now, and hopefully you'll stick around for the next video. It's going to be really great. I'm introducing a new video subject that I'll be doing randomly throughout every month. So hopefully you'll want to watch that too. See you in the next video.